Today we are going to make a Season 25 tier list, where some new legends have entered the meta and old ones have stayed in it too, whilst other legends have fallen out of the meta and dropped to the bottom. Let's take a look at where all the legends rank. We're going to rank these legends from D tier all the way to S tier at the top, and I think a fair few of these positions will surprise you. Also, if you have any disagreements with this tier list, I'm a crypto main, so blame it on that. Firstly, the D tier legends. These are legends who are the worst in the game, and don't fit in the game's current meta at all. We have 3 legends in D tier, and the first legend is Caustic, who in my opinion is the worst legend in the game. His traps are so easily destroyable as he poses no threat in any scenario. Even holding down a building he isn't useful. His ultimate would be good in a small area, but the area damage is too small in my opinion, and can be easily avoided. Not gonna lie, his passive is hardly even noticeable too. After using him again, I genuinely couldn't even notice the outlines on the enemies and they were hard to see through his smoke. He needs a huge buff if Respawn want to make him useful, and need to target his tactical becoming hard to destroy. Next in D tier is Seer, who we can all agree is no surprise. He is pretty terrible, and pretty unappealing as nearly nobody is playing him. His passive is just no help and its range is so short, you'd know if someone was there anyway without the ability. The tactical is a big waste of time too, as the introduction of Health Blast do the same thing as his scan now. But in fairness, his ultimate is better and does play pretty well at times, but it's not enough to carry him out of D tier. Being a Recon Legend 2 doesn't help, and it's not a very good class. I think a good buff for Seer with all the Recons is to remove the Health Blast from this game. And the last D tier legend is probably a surprise to many, is Wattson. I'm sorry, but she is incredibly outdated now, as are controllers as a whole, so it doesn't really help her case. Firstly, her passive is dreadful, with the shield regen being just so painfully slow to make no difference. I like the idea, but it has no effect on the game. Her tactical stops nobody from entering an entry point, to be honest. They're so easily destructible. However, a very good Wattson can utilize them well to make a difference. And her ultimate is good, but it's nothing game changing. With Newcastle and Conduit in the game doing similar things, Wattson's ultimate kinda looks underwhelming. That's all the D tier legends, and now we make our way onto the C tier legends. These legends are still not very good, but can either counter better legends, pair well with certain team comps, or have a very good ability. First in C tier is Valkyrie. To be honest, she is pretty underwhelming. Most of her kit is severely outdated nowadays. However, her passive is still solid as you can navigate building fights and create some movement plays with her jets. But yes, her ultimate is very old now and worked a long time ago, just not nowadays. When they introduced evac towers, she really plummeted in pick rates and usability as she got replaced. Her missiles are incredibly annoying to work right too, as they don't create enough pressure going into a fight. I think if they buff the recon perks, she could become a very good legend however, which I hope they do soon. Next in C tier is Catalyst, who was once in the meta and now is completely out of it. Building fights as a whole really have left Apex unless you're in a high rank scene, and then you're not even using Catalyst for that too in my opinion. Her ability to fortify doors is just plain useless, still easily destroyable and don't affect 90% of fights you're in. Her attack is better but again so easily avoidable. One step to the left and you're alright. Her best ability is definitely her ultimate, as it can help you when you're pushing or leaving a fight and rotating. Sadly for her, you need more than one good ability to be viable though. Vantage is somebody who definitely has decent abilities, however it's the playstyle you're forced to play that makes her as bad as she can be. Having a sniper as your ultimate really drags you down in so many scenarios. Yes, it does do a lot of damage and you can down people with it, but it's nothing a sniper couldn't do anyway. And if you say it saves the weapon slot, then just play Ballistic, who is 10 times the legend Vantage is. Her tactical is nice though, movement is always a viable ability. Other legends have better movement, but it's still good. And for the passive, it's really not even worth mentioning, because your eyes do the same thing that it can do. Like Catalyst, Bloodhound used to be meta too. That was until Crypto became better than Bloodhound, and then Recons became a 3-pick for the most part with all the buffs to the other legend classes. Their passive where they interact with birds is really just a waste of time. The time you spend running after these things, you can actually naturally find things quicker. Their scan is good though, always a sturdy ability that provides good intel for the team. And finally, their ultimate doesn't provide that much help for Bloodhound players, as yes, you do get a speed boost, but other than that, it's just thermal vision. Unless your eyesight's bad, you don't need this ability. Next is a legend that I think only works in a high rank sense, is Rampart. For me, her shields can provide good cover for endgames with a lot of teams, but that only really happens in Diamond Plus lobbies. Especially for pubs, she is not very good at all, which starts with her passive. I mean really, it's like 5 extra LMG bullets with a faster reload. That is helping nobody, and you're forced to use a certain weapon class that sometimes isn't even meta. And look, her ultimate is alright, it can provide very good pressure on squads, so it works for that, but any close range fight and its turning speed is ridiculously pointless. The last legend on C tier is my main, Crypto. Now I got a lot of kills on this man, so I can safely tell you that he can be terrible. He's at times slow and lethargic, and some legends can turn him into a Warzone player as he doesn't have anything past his tactical. However, he can be very good at certain times, and can flip a bad scenario into a good one. Especially with his ability to scan beacons quickly, respawn teammates without moving, and his EMP when you enter a fight. In the pro scene, he's at least B tier, but it isn't really about that entirely, so he's a solid legend but can be really slow and unappealing for the most part. Okay, we are finished with C tier and going to move on to B tier. These legends are mid. They aren't the best, but are still good, who can be great for players for various of reasons. Kicking it off is Octane, who, if I'm honest, scrapes into this list because he's a skirmisher. His abilities are left to be desired, but as skirmishers are for the most part meta, he is rated higher. In saying that, his abilities are pretty outdated. Starting with his passive, it's okay. It's not bad, but if you have a medkit, it's really not helpful. It is, however, helpful for the stim, but sadly the stim is very outdated now, as you need to sacrifice a margin of your health for a very bland movement ability, as it's just a speed boost. And his ultimate is good, the pads are helpful, but again, it's very bland and other legends have better movement. Next is Fuse, who has always been good for adding pressure to teams and is still good at that, it's just that's all he has. His passive used to be okay, carrying extra grenades was helpful at times to bombard enemies with nades, however assaults carry extra throwables anyway, so it's kinda pointless. His tactical is very good actually, to be fair. It adds huge pressure to teams and can flush campers into the line of sight for easy shots. And his ultimate is better than people think, as it can isolate an enemy team and create easy pushes and pickoffs. The assault class is so good too nowadays, so it adds to Fuse's ranking. Gibraltar a very long time ago was meta, however he has dropped off a bit, but he's still a viable legend. The support class is always good, so that helps him, and does have some cool abilities, which start with his passive. Any short range fight you ADS for is easily winnable, as you do have that extra 50 shield. His bubble is his best ability though, as you can easily pull off rotations and revives with it, and you can create bubble fights which you will become accustomed to as you keep playing him. Just make sure to run a shotgun. Lastly, his ultimate is okay. It's his worst ability, however it does provide some pressure to enemy teams to make them move. Initially I had Conduit lower in this tier list, but I'll give her credit as her tactical is very good. With her perks you can shield both teammates at once, which is a huge help and can turn an ugly start to a fight into a win. Her passive is, well, replaced. Skirmishes have the exact same effect and sadly make her passive not that cool anymore. Her ultimate does provide some cover and can block off enemies from an area you want to protect, or can even flush out enemies if you need them to. Again, the support class does carry her a little bit, as it's still such a great class for legends. Dropping a little bit from the past season is Mad Maggie, who is still a very good legend, but other legends have gotten higher recently. With shotguns in the current meta, her passive does get a good workout. It isn't fantastic, but the movement speed does help in today's age. Her tactical is probably her best ability, with her drill producing mass damage sometimes on teams holding position or building. Her wrecking ball is good. It would be so much better if it was more predictable and didn't hurt your own team as much as it does, but it can still provide a good entry, stun and damage. With her speed boost, the assault kit works so well with her too. Newcastle is very good, for a multitude of reasons. His revive is a very good ability, especially after the level 2 perk. It can get teammates safely into the fight again whilst providing cover. His tactical is so great for so much again, as you can pair it with the passive for safer revives. It's also fantastic for instant cover and pushing areas or teams as well. His ultimate is also good. Probably could do with some sort of rework of its shape, as you can be less vulnerable at times from the back and sides, but it's very good still for pouncing on teammates, moving and blocking off doors and entry points. Sadly for him, I think his size does let him down a little bit though. And lastly, in B tier, I do have Bangalore. When I made this initially, I had her in A tier, but I feel like her abilities are slightly lacking compared to others now. One ability that doesn't lack though is that passive. It is so good. Having the same speed boost as Octane's stim, just because people are shooting in your direction, is crazy, and very underrated too. Her smokes have been a stable ability all throughout Apex, but I feel like it's slowly becoming less relevant with how the scans are now in the game. It's still great and good for blocking line of sight, but could be better. And sadly her ultimate is pretty lame. It needs to come down faster to create enough pressure to work properly. Alright, that's all the B tier legends, and now we move on to the A tier legends. These legends are great. They provide so much for the team and can be individually brilliant. Beginning A tier, we have Wraith, whose buff has bumped them up a tier. Still, her passive is whack, and the reason she will never be S tier until she's reworked. It doesn't provide any help at all. However, her tactical is elite, and it makes up for it. It's now an instant phase, and you can go away so cleanly and fastly now too. Being able to decide when the phase ends too is such a good change, it can really help. Her ultimate is still the same as it's always been though. Can help move down teammates and create a portal to and from height, making a fight really change. The skirmisher buff also makes her so much better too. The second A tier legend is going to be Mirage. Now at first I had him at B tier, but he is so genuinely underrated, it's crazy. His revive is something everyone looks past. If you break line of sight, it's nearly impossible to find him. The only giveaway is the audio cue though. His tactical decoys are good. Used in unison with the control button, you can create scenarios where the enemy is scanned going into fight. And the ultimate, if used right, is really good. Again, breaking line of sight so they don't see you once you use it. They will have such a hard time finding out which one is the real you. The invisible healing though is probably the best part of his kit. Entering 1v1s using big heals, you can have long visibility periods. Horizon is always good in Apex, and it's no shock I've put her in A tier. She is a movement goddess and deserves to be here every season. Her passive provides so much movement, and every time you're moving so hard, it's hard to track. Pair that with the gravity lift and you're moving like crazy. Her tactical is so good for quick movement and vertically, you can take height smoothly within an instant. It can also be good for blocking doors too. Her ultimate is probably the worst of the 3 abilities, but it's still good. Throw this ultimate at enemy teams to block off zones, or just enemy doorways, and it can prove to be a good ability. Next legend is Revenant. Now I see a fair bit of Revenant slander, and I see him lower in other lists, and I'm not sure why. His worst ability by far is the passive. It's not that great, but it can still be helpful when you need a bit of movement somewhere. His good ability start though with his tactical, as you can pounce so far. After a full charge up, he can jump away from any danger or into it if he needs to. Now lastly the ultimate, where he can put on a massive health shield so he can win any 1v1. Even after the nerf, it's viable, and the ult regen on knock is so key to decimating any squad single-handedly. Now we're getting into some really good legends with Pathfinder. He has an abundance of movement and probably spends more time in the air than on the ground. His passive is sadly probably the letdown of his kit. He gets a quicker ultimate with interactions, which is okay. It's still good but not that crazy. Speaking of crazy, we have one of the best tacticals in the game with his grapple. With his perks you can have 2 grapples, and with how they gave him the shorter cooldowns, again he is flying everywhere. And his ultimate is good too, being able to go long distances so quickly. For the most part, you're untrackable. Maybe she's a little higher than others put her, but I'm putting Loba near the top of A tier. She is still so elite, and debatably the best solo queue legend in the game. The ability to see loot through walls isn't great, let's be honest, so it's sad to see the disregarded ability like this. It does help a tiny bit though. Her tactical is really good however, and stacking 2 bracelets now makes her hard to track down. Her ultimate is still so underrated. The ability alone to take infinite ammo, cells and syringes is enough, let alone 2 or 3 items every minute and a half roughly. There is zero excuse for bad loot with a Loba on your team, and she can carry a squad so much. And at the very top of A tier, I do have Lifeline. Unlucky to not be an S tier, but she is still so good. The revive is elite. Being able to revive without the action of reviving still is such a clutch ability to today's age. Being able to defend your teammates getting back into a game can flip a bad fight. The tactical is so good too. With the right perk, you can have nearly instant heals for your team 24/7. For how quick it reattaches after being shot, it's so good to go into fight with. And the ultimate is so good for resets. It's also great for pushing hard to approach areas, allowing for easy squad takedowns. Now A tier is finished, we move on to the final and best tier, the S tier legends. These legends are the best legends in the game with nearly no flaws whatsoever. We start off with Sparrow, the newest addition to the Apex game. His passive is, in my opinion, the best passive in the game. A huge jump every single second, and a second jump off walls, yeah, that's insane. Completely untrackable in fights, and can climb buildings like any legend. His tracker darts are really good too. For scanning opponents, of course, it does that very well, but the ability to shoot them at survey beacons from any range is game breaking, and you can give your squad so much intel. The ultimate can be a joke too. Shoot it inside an area where enemies even have a slight struggle to leave, and you're doing big squad damage. Next we have the best 1v1 legend in the game. For me, it is Ballistic. Someone with a very good passive is Ballistic. With their weapon sling, you can have a meta weapon instantly turn gold in any instance you have your ultimate active. Especially if you put the Devo or the P20s in there, you have the best short range weapons at your fingertips. His tactical is his best ability and the best tactical in the game for me. Being able to whistle any enemy for 20 damage plus an extra 15 on overheats is crazy. And with the perks, you can have up to 4 whistles. His ultimate is also very good and so close to being in the best ultimates too. Fast reloads, movement speeds, and infinite ammo for up to a minute is crazy work. Alta has rose to the meta after her buff, and she is crazy now, mainly for her ultimate. But her ult is the best ult in the game, and I cannot lie. Place it somewhere safe and you go into a fight nearly risk-free, as you can teleport if in danger and get a full reset. It is not good for the game, but it is so good in-game. Her passive is alright, nothing fancy, but being able to grab teammates' banners from distance is nuts. Also, her tactical is really good. Being able to go through walls, floors, and ceilings will surprise any opponent and put them on the back foot so quickly. And for me, the best legend in the entire game is Ashe. Although for me she doesn't have the quote-unquote best ability in any category, all 3 of her abilities are insane, so there's no lack of quality anywhere. Her passive is so good, second best in the game for me. The dash will throw off any enemy mid-fight and is good for rotations too. Her snare is so important to her kit, enemies have no way out after being snared. The damage is nice, but them not being able to move puts them right where you want them to be. Then the ultimate is awesome, as you can take high or rotate so quickly. Such a great movement ability to top off the best legend in the game. Well, that's my Season 25 tier list all done. I think it's all well structured and has the best legends where they should be, or at least hard to disagree with. If you do however disagree or even agree, let me know in the comments below, as I'd love to have a discussion or even a debate. Thanks for your time, appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.